First of all, Dean, what was it that made you want to start this terrific hockey card collection that you have going?
I'm really passionate about hockey. My parents were immigrants from Jamaica in the late '60s, and I grew up just loving hockey. And I remember buying the hockey cards and the bubble gum when you got bubble gum in a pack, and open up cards to get Tony McKegney and Ray Neufeld and Mike Marsden and Bill Riley, some of the early players. Around the pandemic, the world was focusing a little bit more on efforts to promote inclusion and some of the social injustice to black people. So this was my way of sort of paying for and amplifying a positive story, capturing the history of what some of these players have overcome and their contributions to the game that might often be overlooked because there's not many black people and visible minorities in the game of hockey at many levels.
What's been the reaction when people see your collection and get to have this interaction with you?
Well, it's been great. The cards have traveled across North America over the last couple of years, and I see people taking selfies and talking about how important it is for them to see themselves reflected in the game. And I've personally, when I've been interviewing people at the display, people have just said, "Oh, wow, this is thank you for doing this," and really appreciative of showing that the game includes many people.
And you also have your My Hockey Hero podcast, partnering with the CHL. How important is it for you to help grow the podcast and be partnered with the CHL now?
Yeah, very important. It started by interviewing the NHL players, and we interviewed 29 players from the collection. And when that project was nearing its end, I wanted to expand it and include all racial identities and the future stars in hockey. So we've interviewed some of the players that are up and coming in the CHL who will then be changing the face of the game in the very near future. I interviewed Malcolm Spence from the Erie Otters, who's going to be likely a high NHL draft pick very soon, and Donovan McCoy from the Peterborough Petes was interviewed, a very top prospect and first-time captain of the Peterborough Petes. So there's lots of different stories that I've really appreciated, and the players have really appreciated giving back, and they at all levels recognize that they're role models themselves, and they're stepping up and wanting people to know that there is diversity in the game, and some of them have overcome racism over the time period, and they really just want no one else to feel that experience. They really want the game to be open and open access for everyone.
And we're currently here at the 104th Memorial Cup presented by Dow. We're at the Hall of Fame exhibit. You got to be a featured exhibit at there. Just how special has that been for you?
Yeah, again, it's been really meaningful to see people engage in the exhibit, the display. We've had conversations with people who are not players but are fans, and they talk about, they're from Flint, and they love seeing diversity in the hockey. I interviewed one fan from the London Knights who has worked with Rico Phillips in some diversity initiatives, and he's talking about how proud it is for him. He originally was from Cambodia. He brought his son to the game, and just trying to find different ways to include others, and it's what's such a proud Canadian sport for many of us.
I got to know, is there a favorite card in the collection?
It's hard for me to narrow down. I know that I often wear a Ray Neufeld jersey, which everyone knows kind of like an iconic jersey, the Hartford Whalers, and I got it made up with Ray Neufeld. And he's a former CHL player from the West, Flin Flon, I believe. So that's probably my favorite one, favorite card and favorite jersey. And he did a spectacular interview on our podcast, and he talked about his first game. He was with Gordie Howe, was still playing for the Whalers, and Dave Keon. So it doesn't get much better than that.
And you're how nice is it now that you've got some CHL cards in the collection as well? Like you mentioned, you had Malcolm Spence and Donovan McCoy on there, but just to see the CHL cards from Upper Deck coming out and the representation in there as well.
It's great too, because we know lots of kids collect cards and lots of kids are fans of the CHL. So to have something like Zane Parekh and Isaiah George, two players in the Memorial Cup, again, I think it's great to be inviting people that are fans of the game to see these players as they develop through the CHL, and ultimately likely you'll be in the NHL. And that's what's great about the CHL. You're capturing players as they're developing. And to engage an audience that traditionally has not been invited in hockey, it's great for growing the game.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Appreciate it.